Okay, Laura, here we go. You've done a pretty good job here of setting this up. Actually, I'm doing a remix, which is why you just saw it go blank. Okay, you did a pretty good job, but we need to put a loop in. We need to do a couple of things here. So first thing is we need to have a flag that indicates we're done, because we're going to have a count. We can be done in two different ways. So we want to have one routine that handles everything, and it'll know it's done based on this flag. So we're going to go to data, and I'm going to make a variable. I'm going to call it done. Okay, and I'm going to set done to false because it's not done when we first start. Alright, and then I see you have two variables here. You have enter password, so you're initializing the password that they enter, and you set a real password, and the only other thing we need is a count to see like how many times they've tried. So I'm going to put a count, and I'm going to set count to 0. Actually, I'm going to set count to 3 because I'm going to count down. Alright, now I want a loop. So the way you have this set up is not a loop. So first thing I'm going to do is find myself a loop which is in control, and I'm going to do repeat until. And what I want to do is I want to repeat until I'm done. So I'm going to say repeat until, whoops, done equals true. So right now it's going to come into the loop and it's going to say done is false. So done is true, and done's going to be true if it's 3 times a try, or if it's the correct password. Then I'm going to put this part in here, the ask part. Let me get this here and pull this away. Okay, so until done is true, I want it to ask me the password and wait for an answer. If the password is correct, so what you have here is you have a big if, multiple ifs instead of a loop. So I'm going to pull this guy out. We don't need him because we're going to do this in a loop. Alright, so we're going to say if the enter password equals a password, then they're the same. So right now let's just get through the loop part. So we're going to say done is true, and we're going to set done equal to true because they're the same. So it is done. Say they're the same. We're going to say goodbye, and then we're going to go. I'm not going to deal with the fish right now. Otherwise, if enter password is not equal, we're going to say we have to say we're going to have one less count. So we're going to set the count. Actually, we don't want to do a set. We want to change. Ugh. Okay, so we're going to do change count by -1. By -1. And then we're going to say they aren't the same. And we need to put something here because the count, we're doing this in a loop, so we can't hard code the number of attempts left. So I believe what we want is because I want to do 2 together. Okay, so I want to join. So I want to say they aren't the same, and instead of hello world, I'm going to say attempts left. And in here, I'm going to put my count. Now notice I already put my count down by 1, so it's at the right amount. So join, say counts attempts left, and this I don't need. These are gone. Okay, so what this is going to do, it's going to set the flag to say I'm not done. Initialize enter password to nothing, set the password to LSP121, set the count to 3. So let's say is done equal true? No, the first time we go through it's false. What's the password? I'll enter the password, check the password. If it's the same, then done is true. We're done. Say they're the same, and then say goodbye, and it's going to fall out. Otherwise, if they aren't the same, it's going to decrement the count by 1, say they aren't the same, and say how many counts are left. However, what if we need to check if we've reached 3? So we need to do another control. And we want if then else, I believe. We can always change it later. So we're going to say if the count is 0, then that means we're done. Then this is what we need to do. Hold on here. Separate these guys out. Okay, so if the count is 0, then they're done. So then we want to change it before we come in. Alright. So if the count is 0, whoops, we want to say done for 2 seconds. Otherwise, we also have to set the flag to 0. So we're going to go to data, set done to 0, set done to true. Okay. Alright, so here's how it's going to work. We're going to set done to false. Enter password, we're going to initialize to 0. We're going to set the password to LSP121 so we know what the real one is. Set the count to 3. So done equals true, no. The first time we come through, done is false. We're going to ask the password, set it to the answer, and then we're going to check it. Are they the same? If they are, then we're done. So we set done to true. We say they are the same. We say goodbye. Otherwise, if they aren't the same, we have to decrement the count by 1. So otherwise, we say, okay, you got one last try. So 3 minus 1. You have 2 left. If the count equals 0, then set done to true. So if we have no tries left, then we're say we're done. So we set the flag and say, yeah, we're done, and then we say we're done. Otherwise, if the count is greater than 0, we aren't done. So we just say they aren't the same. You have this many attempts left, and then it's gonna be done with this if, gonna be done with the second if, and it's gonna still be inside. It's gonna come up on top here and go, is done true? Well, no, it's not. So let's run it and see what's going on. Okay, so what's the password? I'm going to put in gobbledygook. They aren't the same. 2 attempts left. Gobbledygook. They aren't the same. And then after this, it should tell us we're wrong. Okay, done. Okay, now there was an additional part which says this fish should come up. And so what we want to do is when we are done, we want this fish to appear. So let's look at the fish code real quick. And I'm going to delete this. Okay, so this is good. So when the flag is clicked, he shouldn't be showing up. And then we want to send. We're going to send a message. Let's go back to the girl. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to send a message. And I'm seeing where is that? Okay, we're going to broadcast a message. So repeat until it's done. So I'm going to go down here because it's going to be finished. So I'm going to broadcast a message, and it's going to go. The fish is going to be listening for this message. And let's say just for fun, I'm going to make her disappear. Okay, now let's go to the fish code. So he hides until the flag's clicked. When the flag is clicked, he hides. So let's get the control that says when he gets a message. So I'm going to find where I have that. Is it data? No, it's control, I believe. No, it's an event. Okay. When I receive message 1, so this is a fish, then I'm going to show myself. So looks, so I'm going to show, and then I'm going to say hello. So let's run it. So I'm going to push it. So what's the password? No password. I put the wrong one and they aren't the same. 2 attempts left, blah, blah, blah. And let's say I'm going to enter the right one now, LSP121. They are the same, goodbye, she goes away, and then he shows up. And that's how you do it. So I will send this to you, and hopefully this will help you, and it'll make your unit assessment, your final, a lot easier. And I appreciate that you are such a tenacious student, so keep up the good work.